Welcome, everyone, to the Sickos Committee Podcast. This is our podcast for the evening of March 28th, 2023. This is I guess we don't sleep this week because there is basketball on, but we don't have to be quite as intense about it.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't consider what we saw between Wisconsin and, North Texas basketball, but,
Wisconsin did sleep. They were very, very sleepy.
Took a solid 9-minute nap there.
9.5 minutes of flat line.
Not 9.5 minutes, but 9 minutes and 8 seconds. Don't go.
Oh my God.
Give them extra 22 seconds.
Just
Brian Ferentz could never.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
Sure
He's done it already.
I'm gonna go look.
Did North Texas score
that South
100
Dakota
points in
State game, they
9
absolutely had 9 minutes scoreless in that game.
More than that. Yeah, but did North Texas score 100 points in those 9 minutes? No, they scored 10. Wisconsin was playing great D. North Texas wasn't hitting anything. It just stopped.
Well,
Basketball ceased to happen.
10 points is all you need. Wisconsin's not scoring. You only need one.
As one of the 4 most famous North Texas alums that you can think of, I like to say that I'm proud of my mean green. Proud of them. Proud of my boys. Caw or whatever they say. I think their hand symbol is this. I'm not sure. I don't
It
have
sounded like something from the Battlehawks.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't have an alma mater to sing. I don't know what that is. I definitely don't know what their fight song is. I was a musician there, which makes it even funnier. Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know what their fight song is?
No, of course I don't. I went to one game. I've been to one game there. It was at the old Fouts Field before they moved across the way, and I barely made it into the stadium because I was drunk at the tailgate.
Guys, I'm looking at the box score from the Iowa-South Dakota State game. Iowa's first score was a field goal at 1:11, and then they didn't score again until 4:03 in the third quarter. So yes, well more than 9 minutes, significantly more than 9.
And that's just 9 minutes of game time. Think about how, that's however many game time. How many hours was that?
Too many.
Good God.
I'm sure I can almost think that they could have gone every single game this year with 9 minutes in between scoring. 9 minutes of game time. I can almost say that. Yeah, I think that'd be a good search.
Well, before PittGirl gets mad at me, I'm going to do introductions. I will remember this time.
I was just about to remind you.
Got you.
Yeah.
I have with me Commish, Spreadsheet Girl Kevin, and PittGirl. PittGirl, how are you?
I'm good. Happy Tuesday.
Kevin, how are you, sir?
I am good. I had a soccer game rained out today, so I had extra time to go back and realize that I hadn't adequately prepared for my segment at the end, as we just discussed, but I went over it again and we're good to go.
Yeah.
Imagine being prepared for this podcast ever.
All right.
Hey guys, I have so many news clippings about 1945 Temple. It's going to blow your fucking mind.
Oh my God.
I'm really excited for this.
I also have a complete tangent from the 1945 Temple team, just about freshman procedures at Temple in 45. It's great.
Does it involve kazoos or maybe some celery?
No, unfortunately not. Sorry. Commish, how are you?
I'm great. Speaking of soccer, my first youth, soccer coaching experience is going to be taking place with the 5 and 6 year olds on Friday. I really haven't been doing much whatsoever to prepare. And then when I picked up my kiddo from school today, one of the parents of the kids on the team just called, and I'm like, oh, here we go. And she the whole time was like, hi, I'm so and so, and my daughter's on the team. I don't know if I said it's co-ed before, but it is a co-ed team. But she was like, they didn't have me registered correctly, and I'm all like, I don't even know how to use this website for the Y to set this up. So I'm scrambling, trying to figure out what I need to do and need to find this. She's like, she's just worried about being on the team with her friend, and I need to know if her friend is on the roster. So I'm scrambling through this website to try to find this to satisfy this parent. And I, after maybe a 10-15 minute phone call, I find the information and find out that they're on the team. I'm like, thank God. So crisis avoided. But I see that every single parent, as I'm on the website, every single parent has tried to follow my profile on this website.
Yeah,
And I'm like, oh shit, I haven't even looked at this at all. So I'm like, oh my God. So I create a profile, I upload a profile pic. I send an email to everybody. I was like, hey, we got a game Friday night, blah, blah, blah. We'll do this. And then I email them my phone number. Apparently I sent this email twice.
Perfect. On
the
point. On point. Bravo.
And then after I do that, I get 3 text messages from the parents, and I'm like, oh God,
That was a mistake.
But I was like, I was like, hey, I'm Coach Commish.
If you think this is bad, just wait till the press gets to you after your first game.
Definitely, it's not gonna go well. I've been watching videos for like drills to like teach
You're
these
gonna
folks.
YouTube this? Jesus.
No,
Okay.
seriously, this is what the Y gives you. They give you some app that's called Mojo, and it has like drills to teach the kids. So like I'm having to do this. I'm gonna have to channel in my high school days of playing soccer. My like this is not gonna go well, but I'm just gonna try to stay positive throughout it. And I'm as the days approach to Friday evening, I'm getting more and more nervous. I do have a whistle. I don't know if I'll use it, but I did just get a whistle. So
Yeah, there we
I'm
go.
excited for that.
I
all
have
you
full
need.
faith in you and in all the littles. I live across the street from a public park, and there is like even smaller than that, like soccer shots starting up back again, and I can see the park out my window. And my favorite thing is seeing a horde of 3-year-olds all chasing the ball.
Oh,
Bunch
U5
ball. Yep.
soccer is the most
Love bunch
adorable
ball.
thing in the world. I love
Oh,
it
it
so
is.
much.
I'm excited for either you to be Commish to be very all positive, all good vibes, or to start breaking clipboards over your knee. Either way.
I really don't know how that's gonna go. I'm like the Y. We had to sit in like a Zoom call last week, and they just wanted to be like, everybody's here to have fun. This is not serious. Nobody's getting a scholarship or anything like that. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah, I get that. They don't even want you to talk to the ref. Like they don't want you to say "good call, ref." In like in the code of conduct or whatever, they don't want you to say "good call, ref," because like you don't need to say that because they have already made a good call. You do not need to confirm that. It comes across as sarcastic, and I'm like, oh God, what did I get myself into? I am not ready for this. I'll definitely be reading some inverting the triangle literature to try to figure out, and definitely try to figure out how to basically play from the back with the kiddos, and we'll do some more terminology. And I probably need to watch the Ted Lasso season 3. I haven't started yet, so maybe I need to get some positivity going here. That's right.
First thing we want to talk about, I believe, is what you call the thing you put on your back, because Commish and his child are having issues.
This is funny to me because I have a lot of. I grew up in New Orleans, like sayings, like we say certain things a certain way, and now I'm in Texas, which I mean I'm in San Antonio. It's really, Texas. They have their own Texasisms, and there's certain different ways that you say certain different words. Like in New Orleans, like we would always say instead of like going grocery shopping or something like that, like we're making groceries, or like we don't call it like a shopping cart, we call it a buggy.
Oh yeah,
little tiny things like that. And so I can't get out of those habits. So growing up, anytime I'd go to school, I'd grab my book bag or book sack, whatever you want to call it, and I would go to school. It was always a book bag or a book sack. My kiddo, he gets mad at me every time I say that, and he's like, "It's a backpack. It's a backpack." And so now I'm starting to do that like sarcastically to
lean into it.
Get a little reaction out of them. And then I think I tweeted it this morning on the personal account, but it was kind of, does anybody else do this, or is this just me? And is this just a Louisiana thing?
It is a backpack. I like rucksack just for like flavor, but that is a very European way to say it.
Yeah, that one gives me like camping vibes. I think book bag is acceptable. My dad is from Chicago by way of Atlanta. They moved to Atlanta in 1978 when he was in high school. So I don't know how much of the book bag thing is my dad having picked that up in the like greater South. Because I don't think people, like I grew up in Pennsylvania, I don't think most people say that, but it's not like wildly out of the realm of things people say.
Yinzer word for backpack and see what I can get.
It's still backpack.
I was going to say, it's always been
backpack.
Backpack. It's always been backpack for me. Book bag was not uncommon in Mississippi. I have never heard book sack before.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one either.
I guess I would have used book bag, but book sack, it makes me think of walking out of HEB with a paper bag of books. Like, oh, it's my book sack. That's what it makes me think of.
I was picturing like Santa tote bag, but with books in it, like the
it feels like it needs a drawstring,
like a bindle. A book bindle.
Not exactly. I do like that idea.
So there's
though.
a French word. There's a French word. I can't even say it. Like sac à dos. So it's a French phrase for backpack. So I guess maybe that's where the book sack came from. I have no idea. But
That would
my
make
French
sense.
accent is pretty bad. It's just something that I didn't realize, and I can't break that. It's ingrained in me to say that.
Yeah.
So it's just funny to me now, even though I know my kiddo hates it, and it's just something to push his buttons. So being a little a little fun dad here.
I got your next thing though. Little card attached to his bag that says kids' names book bag.
First, he needs to be able to be fully reading. He's still learning. You know, he's got his sight where it's going, so he's getting there.
Oh, he'll
Right
learn those when you
along
put it on
this
there.
one.
Oh yeah.
He'll
Also-
learn book bag.
You handshake me, my mom, who grew up in Connecticut. We lived in Lancaster County my entire childhood. We moved there when I was 5. She still pronounces it. My parents have since moved back to Massachusetts. My mom pronounced it the entire time and still pronounces it Lancaster. She knows better and still does it.
I mean, knows better and still does it is sort of my whole mantra. So I feel like we get along just great.
Yeah, probably.
There's like Cajun country out in Louisiana, and there's like that weird Cajun French in like the book sack or something, maybe like Vidalia, Louisiana. You would say something like that. Book sack, backpack. I looked it up on Urban Dictionary. It says Cajun for backpack.
There you go.
There you go. I would
So I didn't
imagine,
realize that,
out in like Louisiana country, it'd be like a book out sack or sack out book.
I'm imagining Cocho saying book sack.
Yeah, book sack.
My mama said that we're gonna have to get our book sack because the alligator is ornery,
Yep. That's
and that's where we put his toothbrush in. No,
okay. You know what? Actually, all of a sudden, this all makes sense now.
Yeah, this is working.
it's working. This coach, I gotta get my book sack. Go to Natchitoches, Louisiana.
That word came up again, and I still was like, Natchitoches? I still couldn't get it.
Yeah, when we do the Louisiana pronunciation
fuck
game,
that. No,
I'm
like,
gonna.
No, whatever. Done.
I'm just gonna show a word, and then y'all go for it. And then honestly, I'll probably get some wrong, and then we'll get some feedback in the podcast too. Even though
course.
I don't even know all of them. I'm just gonna say that.
So we do have a little basketball besides UNT's win over Wisconsin.
Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it!
We do have our women's Final Four. I didn't realize that all 3 women's Final Four games were being played in the same city. They're all in Dallas. D1, D2, D3.
Oh wow, all levels.
All levels are being played in Dallas this year as part of the Title IX 50th anniversary. So yeah,
That's pretty cool.
I may go see some of the D3 games, D2 games, because those are way easier to get into. Because the D1 games, can't fucking buy those tickets because they're expensive as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, this first one is going to be a banger. Like, I would believe that one's sold out.
LSU Virginia Tech.
No,
No, sorry, not first chronologically.
It's-
First, like listed in the upper half of the bracket that I'm.
Oh
looking
yes,
at.
Iowa South Carolina is going to be an absolute banger. That's going to
man,
Yeah.
that's gonna be fun. Like basically you have the star of women's basketball. I mean, every team has a star. Honestly, in the Final Four, it's amazing. I cannot remember the Virginia Tech name. It is Georgia Amore, Georgia. So their first name was Georgia. I knew there was a Georgia involved in there, but she was amazing last night. Fantastic to beat Ohio State, and it's the first time that Virginia Tech's ever made it to the Final Four. So we're big fans of teams making it to the Final Four for the first time this year, apparently, because we have 3 on the men's side and 1 on the women's side. So this should be fun. I'm really curious to see what Caitlin Clark can do against South Carolina and their defense. That's the reigning champion. They're going to go back to back. They're undefeated. I cannot wait to see what happens there. That's going to be a huge game. And that's why tickets are like over $300 some odd dollars, $400 to get in
It's crazy.
in the American Airlines Arena. And then the LSU and Virginia Tech game, I have a feeling that's going to be another one of those knockdown, drag out fights a little bit.
Oh, 100%.
I feel like that's LSU style, I guess. That's going to be some interesting basketball. If LSU can score, maybe they can keep up with Virginia Tech. But
I do want to give a shout out to on the D3 side of things for the women's bracket. championship game is going to be held at the American Airlines Center where the Mavs play. Christopher Newport is playing to get one of the few instances of winning the men's and women's in the same year. Because Christopher Newport won the men's bracket this year. And against them is a school that we all have a friend that went to. It's Transylvania.
Oh.
And our good friend Arch is an alumnus of Transylvania.
Oh, hey.
So we have blood on both sides of this thing. Transylvania beat Smith in the semifinal.
How dare they?
Women's finals should be great. Everyone's already complaining about, oh, no one's going to watch the men's final this year. Man, you know what? Are you a TV executive? Who the fuck cares?
I also don't, to lightly borrow from friend of the show, Alex Kirshner's Twitter feed, I don't 100% buy that because most people don't really pay attention to college basketball until March anyway. And they're paying attention to college basketball in March because they want to see the upsets. So like, this is the outcome of the upsets. You should also be interested in that.
Or you do what I do and we just reseed every round like I want to. It seems so disgusting to stop making. Everyone makes fucking faces at me. Andrew thinks I'm a fucking heretic. He's ready to burn me at the stake. No, we just reseed every round. It's fine. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Alternatively, don't play the games and just dump it all into an algorithm and crown a champion. Like if you're if you're unhappy with the upsets, just do the math and don't play the games. Like don't complain about having an 8 seed in your final four if
BCS was
playing
amazing.
The
What are you talking
games.
about? BCS was great. BCS was fine. We never had problems with the BCS.
Totally
Never had a problem with the BCS, right?
Never.
Everybody in Stillwater looks at me.
We do have a brief football moment for today. The Pitt receiver core.
Yes. Yes. Per Pitt receiver Bub means the receiver core is now calling themselves Waffle House because they're always open, which is great. Love that. Very, very clever. Awesome. Love it. One small problem with this, there is no Waffle House in Pittsburgh. The nearest Waffle House is, I believe it's in Washington County. It's not close. I briefly considered finding someone to drive me to it when we were in college because I was like describing it to people. They had never been there. There's one literally across the street from my office in Harrisburg. There's one in Carlisle, but for some reason Western PA is just like Waffle House dead zone. So I would like to take a moment to use this platform to formally ask Waffle House to put a franchise within reasonable walking distance of the University of Pittsburgh and then do the best NIL deal of all time.
You would make $1 million at this Waffle House.
Yes. Oh my God. It would make, if they put it in Oakland, it would make so much money because there are no 24-hour diners.
What was your 24-hour diner in college?
There isn't one. The closest thing is there's a McDonald's on Forbes that's open until like 4 and it gets real weird on weekends after like 11.
Commish, what was your 24-hour diner?
Waffle House. Yeah, it was Waffle House in West Monroe. So you had to cross the Washita River to get to the Waffle House in West Monroe. I think it was off of Thomas Road, off the top of my head. That was basically the spot to go to. There was a couple of other spots you could hit up. Man, there was one like right off of Desird Road. I cannot remember the name of it because I only showed up at 3 a.m. There. I cannot remember remember the name of the place, but it was a breakfast place and it was amazing. I think it was at the corner of like North 18th and Desird. I don't even know if it still exists. I'd have to look it up, but yeah, it was a breakfast place and it was just packed. 3 a.m. Fun row, baby. I will say we don't have a Waffle House in San Antonio. I am upset about that.
Yeah.
We don't have one. The nearest one is in Austin, which is some bull. I'm upset at Waffle House. We actually have a Twitter account that anytime somebody says the phrase Waffle House in San Antonio, it searches and it will find you and like your tweet and likely retweet it because the name of the account is at Waffle House in SA and they really want a Waffle House in San Antonio. I think there was like a couple years back, Waffle House did like a poll between like San Antonio, College Station, and then there was another city. They were like indicating that they were going to give a Waffle House to the winner of this poll. What happened is College Station won it, of course.
Yeah.
And, them being in the SEC, they were like, we're going to get a Waffle House. Well, the only thing that Waffle House did was send like a food truck there.
Oh.
And they never opened up a Waffle House. So the A&M fans are still furious about that.
Kevin, what was your diner?
There were a few in South Bend, but I was and always will be a Nick's Patio guy.
Mine was called The Fort. It was a truck stop off I-89, about 10 minutes from campus. Open 24 hours a day. They made cruller French toast, and they would toast muffins for you.
Hmm.
And they were always so kind to drunk ass like frat boys. It was so they were the nicest people on earth.
I do feel like I should take this moment to plug also for the more famous Pittsburgh diner, but it is not open 24 hours, which is Pamela's. Pamela's is a local chain famous for their pancakes. They are cash only, and all of the restaurants are themed. I've only ever been to the one in Oakland. That one's board game themed, and so there's just like board game stuff all over the walls.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
Fantastic.
I would recommend it.
Kevin, are you going to walk us through the U.S. Open Cup?
I would really like to, because there
Please do.
was some
'cause-
fascinating stuff going on this weekend.
Let me give a little bit of background on just what Open Cups are, if our listeners don't know.
I don't know, so please do.
The most famous of which is the FA Cup.
Okay.
The FA Cup, these are knockout tournaments. Most countries have these. They are separate soccer tournaments from like the usual, the top league all plays each other twice, and then you decide who the winner is. There's this separate thing that happens during the season where it's basically a giant knockout tournament. In England, it starts with the teams in like the 16th tier, where it's just like some dudes playing together on a Saturday afternoon. And theoretically, if you win enough games, you could be playing Arsenal at Wembley on a Saturday. Like that's the whole point, is that it is a very egalitarian thing. And the US has had this one forever through MLS, through all these versions of bullshit American soccer. This thing has existed since I think the early 1900s. I can't remember when. But yeah, it is. It is
1914 was the
Okay.
first year it was founded.
It is old.
Yeah, so like Jordan alluded to there, it's the oldest soccer tournament in the U.S. It was started in 1914. They played 106 straight years of this tournament, and then did not play in 2020. This year, there were 100 teams in the qualifying round of the tournament, most of whom are amateur or semi-pro teams that had qualified through winning their respective leagues. Yes.
Sorry, for comparison, the FA Cup starts with 729 teams.
Yes.
Just to give you an idea about like scale and how crazy English soccer is. Yeah, that's
Yes. It largely works the same way, where in theory you could have a team full of plumbers playing like DC United in 2 weeks. The round that was played last week was the official first round of the tournament, and it had the remaining 28 amateur teams were all playing, and the winners of those games advanced to play 14 teams from the professional leagues in the US. The furthest advancing team from each lower division gets $25,000, which is, pretty awesome considering how many different lower divisions there are in this. The only lower division, as in non-MLS, team to win the tournament since the founding of MLS was the fabulously named Rochester Rhinos in
Rhinos.
1999. Sadly, the Rhinos no longer exist due to some financial hardships and Jamie Vardy shenanigans.
Oh,
What? Oh, I see it.
it's a thing.
Okay.
It's a whole
Yeah.
thing.
All right.
Yeah, there's a lot there that we don't have time to go into right now.
That would be.
Yeah,
That would be.
as soon as you said
Story
Jamie
for
Vardy,
another time.
yeah, that's a story for another time.
Yeah.
Some of the more noteworthy results from last week's first round as pertained to our interests in the weird and wonderful. We had El Farolito, I hope I'm pronouncing that right,
Sure. Absolutely. It's good to
from
me.
San Francisco, who play in the National Premier Soccer League, which is generally acknowledged to be like the fourth tier of American soccer, won 3-0 after extra time over International San Francisco. And for you non-soccer people, extra time means it was tied at the end of regulation.
So they got 3 minutes. They got 3 goals in the last 30.
Not only did they get 3 goals in the last 30, they got 3 goals in the last 30 down a man because they got a red card in the 85th minute. So pulling that 11th player off the field was ripping the restrictor plate off, and they just banged in 3 in overtime, and they advance, and they will play the Oakland Roots of the USL Championship next month.
I actually looked at the spelling of this, and you said El Farolito. I thought it was like Will Farolito, but
Nope.
I just heard the L part, but I thought I heard Will because I was looking up the Rochester Rhinos logo that I just babbled.
Oh, it's
But,
great.
Rochester Rhinos were founded as the Rochester Raging Rhinos, by the way,
Even
because
better.
everything in 90s soccer was as 90s as humanly possible.
Extreme.
Yes. Appalachian FC, also of the National Premier Soccer League, played North Carolina Fusion's U23 team. It's Appalachian FC's first time participating in the tournament. They went up 2-0. Fusion equalized, and then Appalachian won 3-0 in penalty kicks, which is the shortest possible penalty shootout you can have.
I'd say, how do you get 3-0 on? So they missed they just missed 3 penalties? That's it?
It's best of 5 for the initial round of penalties. So App made their first 3, and Fusion missed their first 3, and everybody went home.
How do you miss 3 penalties?
I would have to look it up again. I don't remember if they were saved or missed.
I'll find it later because that's just.
I would just like to interrupt briefly because
Yes.
I have hastily Googled the logo for. I suspect it's pronounced Appalachian because they're in Boone.
Yes.
And also generally speaking. But I've hastily Googled the logo. Please check the Discord for something delightful.
Hey, that's the guy from the Jack Link's beef jerky commercials. Yes.
It's beef squatch. What the fuck?
Beef squatch.
That's amazing. Oh, their uniforms are great too. Holy shit.
That's good
Everything
branding.
about this club
That's
is
good.
great. Oh,
Yeah,
hold on.
they had
Hold
a
up.
few other logos that popped up in the article I was reading about it.
Also dropped in the Discord for you guys. We got a mascot shot. Load faster, please.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
Oh god.
Yes.
That's really
Found
a
another one
little
that says
bit
time to get
concerning.
squatchy. Let's get squatchy, guys.
It looks like
I love
he's
this.
related to Harry and the Hendersons.
Is squatchy
think
one
he
of the words one of
probably
our
is.
followers suggested to say in this episode?
Squatchy. Squatchy was not suggested. I've already said the word that
I
I
did
chose,
catch
but you
that.
can say whatever. You know,
I'm gonna say squatchy. I used the word nibbling in class today, and I've used it a bunch of times because no one knew what nibbling meant, so I kept leaning into it. So now I'm gonna use squatchy all night to mean different things, though. Man,
squatchy.
it's hot in here. Like I'm feeling squatchy.
That is actually a good adjective for that feeling.
It is. God, I'm feeling squatchy. God, these pants are really warm. I'm feeling squatchy down there.
Is that really one of the words they suggested? But sure.
No, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep saying it now. I love it. Fuck it.
There were a lot of replies in there, and I didn't get through all of them, so it's entirely possible.
I just mentioned the one that was related to an onion. So
Oh,
Yes.
that's
and
you
then
did.
I did say it because it was a town in Louisiana too. So
There you go.
I was
out there.
gonna ask because that's not how I have always heard that word pronounced.
I need
have
to
no
throw in.
context
I need to
there.
throw in the old Pee Wee's Playhouse. Like you said the word.
you said the word.
Ah!
Ah! You said squatchy. You said Vidalia.
Okay, Kevin. What else we got? Sorry,
Alright,
keep derailing you.
No, it's fine. That's what this program's for.
Yes.
Manhattan FC of the USL second tier, which is actually their third tier, because it's Championship, USL 1, and USL 2.
Okay. It's like the English one. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Defeated the NPSL defending champs FC Motown, which marks the second straight year that a first-time Open Cup participant has knocked out the NPSL champions in the first round of this tournament.
Oh.
Well, so I googled the word squatchy,
Yeah.
and then I found an image. Go ahead and look into the chat.
There we go. Yep, that's squatchy. All right.
Excellent.
How my pants
He's
are
real
feeling right
squatchy.
now. How I'm feeling.
Can we
What if
double him?
gritty but too much?
Yeah.
Bethel
Exactly.
squatchy.
The Des Moines Menace beat Beeman United 3-0. This wasn't particularly interesting. I just want to appreciate the spectacular name that is Des Moines Menace.
The Des Moines Menace. He strikes from the cornfields.
And
The Des Moines
they will
Menace
actually
logo
be
looks like we
host-
made it.
Actually, the
They'll
logo
actually
actually
be-
does. It's super 90s.
Our
I have to see
graphic
this.
design is our passion. Oh wait,
I got you.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
It's wonderful.
No, that's a backyard sports create a team logo for sure. Des Moines will actually host their next round game against a personal favorite of mine, Chattanooga FC. We have another spectacular name in Tulsa FC won 1-0 over the Brazos Valley Cavalry, which I think is just great. And
Wait, are they Texan?
yeah,
they're
I would
okay, yeah.
assume given Brazos Valley, but
Yeah. Okay. They're in Bryan. Okay. Cool.
They didn't call the cavalry.
Okay. They played a place called Edible Field.
no.
renamed with sponsorship by Edible Arrangements. That's less interesting than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that this is not some sort of like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory situation where you can lick the wall and it tastes like snozberries.
No,
I
there's
was
no
assuming
way.
I was assuming it was some CBD company.
Or
No,
that.
it's
Not in Texas.
It's in Bryan. It's in Bryan, right next to College Station. No way in
That's
hell.
true. Yeah.
No way in hell. No way. That makes sense. Edible Arrangements Field.
No. It's not called Edible Arrangements
I
Field.
know.
It's called Edible Field.
Yeah,
Just so
there's
we're
a
clear.
Wikipedia page for it. You can search edible field in Wikipedia and it will come up.
Yep.
All right, and the thing that inspired this entire segment, my own Jacksonville Armada making their triumphant return to this tournament. We're tied 1-1 with Miami United FC after extra time. The game was tied 1-1 at the end of regulation, and much like the first game we mentioned, the Armada also had a player sent off with a red card in the 83rd minute. Not
Right.
just any player, but the player who had scored their goal to that point.
Sure.
They go to extra time. Armada hold, unlike El Farolito, do not score 3 goals down a man, but also don't give up a goal. So this game goes to penalty kicks, where both teams made their first 7 kicks.
Oh, God.
Both teams missed their 8th, meaning it's tied 7-7 going into the
no.
9th round of penalty kicks.
Oh no.
Both
I know where
teams
this is
make
going.
their 9th kick.
Oh shit.
it's tied 8-8.
So you have to go to.
The keepers.
So the
Keepers.
keepers are now taking penalties.
Ugh.
Oh God.
Jacksonville keeper Nicholas Rule comes out, lines up his kick and scores, and then has to immediately go in goal, and he saves the shot from Miami United's keeper, and Jacksonville wins
Wonderful.
the game
God.
and advances to play another Miami team in 2 weeks. Because all of these things are very, very regional.
I really want to know. I really want to know what an Armada out of Jacksonville would look like. Is it just nothing but jet skis?
Yes.
It's because of the heavy naval presence here.
I know. Yes.
But yes, you're not wrong. I'm very, very happy to have the Armada back. They've been absent for a few years. The next games I've been randomly saying times throughout this whole thing, please leave them in. They've all been wrong. The second round is played April 5th and 6th, so it's going to be the end of next week. There's one team that has already advanced through the second round due to a forfeit, and that is the local team of one of the members of this call, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Woohoo!
Ah.
Go Riverhounds.
Go Riverhounds.
They have a really nice field. It's on the south side, right along Mon. Pitt has, not recently, but when I was in school, they played the spring game there a couple times, and the lacrosse team plays there.
The only reason I kind of know about this one is San Antonio FC. They won the USL last year, so the United States Soccer League, and we tend to go to some of these. Like the stadium is so small, like there's not a bad
Oh, it's a good stadium.
seat in the house. And if like the ball goes out of play, like it's coming in the stands. Like for like a throw in, it's coming in the stands. It's if you're like in the first 10 rows, you get a heads up. If it's coming out of play, it's coming in the stands.
Since we're on soccer talk before we go into Mississippi trivia, can I give a shout out to my Gibraltar team? The Euro qualifiers are coming up, and so that means everyone in UEFA plays. UEFA covers from Iceland to Kazakhstan, from Finland to Israel, basically. It's a big area for UEFA. And they have micronations, and not just micronations, they have parts of different countries as well.
Mhm.
So Gibraltar is a British overseas territory that's going to be wrong, and someone's going to yell at me, of the United Kingdom. That's probably wrong as well, because I don't remember what those layers are. There's also a national team for the Faroe Islands, another favorite of mine.
You
But
nailed
Gibraltar-
that, by the way.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
Oh, thank God. I was so worried. I want to, so Gibraltar, okay? The Gibraltar national team played Netherlands. Netherlands is ranked 6th in FIFA, okay? Gibraltar is 200. So you figure this game's going to go rough. I will say that at halftime, it wasn't too bad. It was 1-0, and it felt like this was within reach. Things then got out of hand. I don't know if you all saw it, but I want you to guess how many total shots Netherlands took at the Gibraltar goal in the game.
I know because I was following it along. because I love international soccer. When this stuff happens, this is one of my sickos things too. I really love
Me too.
the tiny countries. And
I wasn't able to follow this live, but I did see the shot map that you posted, but I didn't see the stats. And just with what's in my head, I'm going to say 27.
I accidentally spoiled it for myself. I also saw the shot map. It's a lot. It's so many.
It was 52.
Oh,
It's so many.
so almost double what I said.
Almost exact double. Yeah. They had 19 corners. Expected goals were 5 goals. They only won 3-0. And that's thanks to the Gibraltarian wall, the rock goal. I also want to mention that accurate passes, Netherlands 693, Gibraltar accurate passes 54.
Ouch. Ouch.
Yeah, double digits on that is
It's rough.
Per ESPN, Netherlands had 48 shots on goal, but only 11 on target. So,
Well, then barely.
volume shooting works, I guess.
The best is if you look at the game film, and I don't recommend you do it, it's just every Gibraltar white jersey in their own box trying to stop things for 90 minutes. That was the game. I'm pretty sure that the Netherlands keeper could have fucked off and it would have been fine. I do want to shout out one of my favorite players. PittGirl saw a picture of him earlier because I posted it. I want to shout out Roy Cipollina. Roy Cipollina is the Gibraltar captain. He's 40 years old. He's a customs agent in Gibraltar. Plays for the Lincoln Red Imps, which are the Gibraltarian champions. And he is the epitome of just a guy. Like, he has played professional soccer his entire life. I'm going to drop a picture in the chat in case we saw it.
Oh my gosh, this
he
picture
is-
is like the most guy.
He is just a guy. Now, I will show a picture of him in his slightly younger days. Even though he is a guy, he is jacked as fuck. He's Jack Dad.
Oh my god.
Okay?
Oh.
So he is dad, but he is Jack Dad. And this
Understatement of the year.
and this dude, this 40-year-old customs agent in Gibraltar, shows up to play Netherlands, Germany, all these other teams. He's 40 years old. And he shows up to take these ass kickings and just has fun with it. There's plenty of pictures of him like high-fiving all these very famous players. Like, he knows them, life is good, and he is just a guy. And I fucking love that.
Ultimate
It makes me so
sicko.
happy.
Just
Shout out to
guys.
Roy Cipollina. Love it.
Guys being dudes living on Gibraltar.
Right, being a customs agent. And then
Dude, what
just
else
driving
is
down to
there?
the
Getting their
pitch.
asses kicked by the Netherlands.
Jack Dad. Incredibly Jack Dad. I love it. I hope he never retires. Play football till you're 60. Who they're going to replace you with?
That's true.
I mean,
Yeah,
there is already like a 55-year-old Japanese guy still playing.
Population of Gibraltar is only like 33,000. There's no one to replace you with, my man. You're fine.
Yeah, 34,003 per 2020. So
And if you think about half of that are men, what percentage of that is over the age of 16?
hmm
You got no one to replace you. You're fine. Keep going.
Gibraltarian census tables.
Oh, that's Jesus Christ. Google's about to implode on you. It's like when I was looking up Temple University newspaper 1945, and Google was just like, whoa, what the fuck do you want? Having a party there today, sir. Also, everyone got super excited tonight about Argentina. Like, oh, Messi got a hat trick. You know who Argentina played tonight?
Was it Guyana?
No, it was Curacao.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They played
no.
Curacao. Curacao is a island in the Kingdom of the Netherlands. The bigger population than I thought, over 100,000 people. But okay, let's all hold our horses here, Argentina. I'm glad you won. It's Curacao. It was his 100th goal for Argentina too. So, okay. So after all, we got the soccer stuff out of our system. We now have a Mississippi test to go through, and I'm excited about this. Kevin, walk us through this.
So this was inspired by the Pennsylvania game that PittGirl and Beth put together last week. I was listening to that and was like, I can do this with Mississippi because there's a lot of fun places in Mississippi. And I was not prepared for how many fun names I was going to find. I could probably do
it's always
two
fun
of
until you
these.
get in there, and then you're like, oh no.
I am gonna say that, you know, since I lived next door to Mississippi, I don't know if y'all need to like dock me points or put a handicap on my score or something, because I spent a good bit of time in Mississippi, which it doesn't guarantee that I'll win this at all. But I just want to say, just because I was right right near Mississippi, growing up a lot, and going to school in Monroe. I drove through a lot of Mississippi towns just to get to Monroe. There was not a direct highway from New Orleans to Monroe, so I had to go through like I-55. So I'm
Okay.
well aware
You
of
you
Mississippi.
you play.
There's
and
a lot of Delta towns on here, so you'll probably have some places you've been.
you
but-
play, and then I will decide at the end how many points to dock you. Okay, I'll be very honest about it. Don't worry.
Also, to be clear to the listener, I was chuckling while Commish was talking because Jordan started drawing up the scoreboard and was reading just like so big.
I
So
know.
big.
I had
Don't
the
you
wrong
need-
brush. Okay, this is one of my drawing programs. I
Don't
had
you
like
need to put
You've
a
also
little spot
neglected to
for
give
Kevin?
Kevin a
Kevin
spot on
needs
the
something here.
scoreboard. Yes.
Yeah, there
Because
you
if he
go.
stumps us, he gets a point.
I believe Commish is our reigning champion from the
Yes.
Pennsylvania game. I will give you the choice of the first category then. Would you like things that can't sound like kazoo or Catholicism?
we're already great. We're already great.
We're
territory
going
here.
so things that sound like kazoo. I'm going with that. I mean, I'm hyped for kazoos, and I was hoping that Jordan would put kazoo sounds in. For the Kalamazoo
I
kazoos
forgot.
last time,
I
but
sent
then you forgot.
a message and I forgot it. My bad. That was.
Can you like just kazoo my voice up? I don't know if there's like a kazoo filter.
Bet you I can.
I
Is that what a kazoo sounds like to you?
don't have it.
You ever heard a kazoo?
I couldn't even do it.
You ever
sorry.
heard a fucking kazoo before?
Yes, I've heard a kazoo, but it's hard to make a kazoo sound without a kazoo. It just, I can't even do it, man. I need the kazoo.
Fucking Tim Allen sound over here. What the fuck is? Uh-huh.
Things that sound like kazoo, and this will work the same way as the one from 2 weeks ago for anyone who didn't listen to that episode. One, you should. It's titled Blue Ball, Pennsylvania, and you'll find out why. But yes, it's phenomenal. I have not laughed that hard in a very long time. I'm going to give a list of city names here. One of them is not a city in Mississippi. It may be a city somewhere else, or it may be something I entirely made up. But let's go. Things that sound like kazoo: Kalamazoo, Kosciuszko, and Yazoo City.
I know the answer to this one.
Kalamazoo is in another state. I know that.
There is a Kalamazoo in another state.
I think Kalamazoo is not a Mississippi city.
I
What's
also think.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What is the other one besides Kalamazoo?
Kosciuszko and Yazoo City.
I'm gonna go Kosciuszko.
Kalamazoo is not Mississippi.
Yeah, that's a point for Jordan and PittGirl. Kalamazoo
Yeah.
is not.
I like
It's not my
Yuzu-
best lie. I literally wrote that up when we were talking about
Yuzu
kazoos
City?
earlier.
Yuzu City?
Yazoo.
Yazoo.
Y-A-Z-O-O.
I like
That's a
that.
real city.
Spelled
like
exactly
that.
like kazoo.
Mhm.
Yazoo. I like that.
Literally, the only reason I know Kosciuszko, Mississippi exists is because my dad briefly lived there, and it's named after the like Polish American Revolutionary War general Kosciuszko, but it's pronounced Kosciuszko because of course it is.
Of fucking course.
Yes. Yes. I
Assume
did
so.
not know
Yes.
that's where it came from, but yeah, it's I don't know. We had two people get it right. I wasn't prepared.
Go, PittGirl.
Okay,
Okay.
PittGirl. Would you like animals or full cast hosts?
Full cast hosts.
We have Holly Springs, Kirkville, and Knox Hall.
Oh, those all sound real.
What was the last one?
Knox Hall.
I think Knox Hall is fake.
I'm gonna say Holly Springs is fake.
I'm gonna say Kirkville.
It's another point for Jordan with
Yeah.
Knox Hall. It's
Oh.
just something I entirely made
This
up.
is how-
I spent
this is
so
how last-
long trying to find if there was any hall anywhere in the state of Mississippi, and there is not.
This is how the last game started too. I jumped out ahead by 2 and then just got crushed, so I'm feeling good.
I'm way behind. I'm gonna lose. Like my Louisiana cred is going down. But
Here we
yeah,
go.
whatever.
Holly Springs is about half an hour north of Oxford, and I believe Kirkville is outside of Tupelo. I just found it when I was scrolling around, zoomed in really far, and was like, oh, I can make a category out of that.
There you go.
Count it.
Plant parts or the Pacific Theater?
Pacific Theater, please. For 200.
My God.
We have Enterprise, Midway, Pearl Harbor, and Rising Sun.
Oh, okay. Hold up. I think Pearl Harbor, Mississippi is fake.
I think Rising Sun, Mississippi is fake.
Oh, you know what? This hurts me because like I know that there's a town that has Pearl in the name. I know it off the top of my head, and it's really bugging me. because the border between Louisiana and Mississippi is separated by the Pearl River. So it's just like, oh my God, is it? I don't remember. I know there's like Pearl River. I know there's, but Pearl Harbor. Oh,
I know there's a Pearl,
I'm-
Mississippi because they had to cancel a baseball game there tonight.
well, that's true also, yes, because the sod came up, which was great. That minor league team is definitely not ready. The season's a week away. Lovely. I got to go with Rising Sun. I don't think I've ever heard that.
Pearl Harbor was the fake town in Mississippi.
Mm.
There is
What?
a Pearl, Mississippi. There is
Yeah,
not
what?
a Pearl Harbor.
Okay.
Not only
Yeah.
is there a Rising Sun, Mississippi, there is a Sunrise, Mississippi. I at one point had like a Dawn category, and I was like, I can't come up with a convincing third name here.
I will say that I thought Rising Sun was fake because there's a Rising Sun in Maryland.
There you go.
Just over the border from Lancaster County, PA.
So
Okay.
Jordan's got 3 now. All right.
Oh, here we go. I'm feeling this one, guys.
He's got this. He's got it locked up.
This is
No
called
chance.
hubris. I like it.
No chance for us to catch up. I'm still shut out. I'm not gonna get one right.
Scotland or SEC college towns?
Scotland. I'll take Scotland, please.
Scotland, we have Aberdeen, Dundee, Edinburgh, Glasgow, and Gloucester.
God.
Oh God.
Yeah, I just realized
I
don't know
kept
shit about
finding
Mississippi.
Scottish towns. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yeah,
wanna
no, it's
cut
good.
any.
I just realized I'm like, I
that is how the
absolutely.
PA ones often got out of hand as well.
I'm gonna
Oh.
guess. I'm gonna guess there's no Gloucester, Mississippi.
Can I have the options again?
Aberdeen, Dundee, Edinburgh, Glasgow, and Gloucester. And I'm pronouncing all of those as best I can to the Scottish because most of them I don't know the Mississippi pronunciation.
Gotcha.
I'm going to say that there is no Glasgow, Mississippi.
That does sound weird.
If there is a real one, it's definitely like Glasgow, right?
I mean, I'm just realizing I don't know shit about Mississippi if it's not off the interstate.
There we go.
I'm done. Like if it's not off of like I-55 or I-10, I'm or maybe like I don't even remember. Was it like I-59 or I-49? No, I think it was I-59 to Hattiesburg. But
59
yeah, if it's
goes
not-
up the east side. of the state.
Yeah, if it's not off the interstate, I don't know shit about Mississippi, and it's slowly realizing that I have no shot here. So my confidence is completely shot. I'm gonna go with Glasgow also.
That is correct.
There we
Hey!
go.
I am off the schneid.
Okay, Commish, pick the category next since
Yeah.
he's behind.
I'm way behind, folks.
Let's go with spooky season or Caribbean islands.
Man, that's a good choice here. Let's go Caribbean islands.
Anguilla, Cuba, Grenada. I
don't
started
think there's-
pronouncing the Mississippi halfway through there.
I don't think there's a Cuba, Mississippi.
I don't think there's an Anguilla, Mississippi.
What was the other one?
Grenada is the third one, or Grenada.
I'm confident. I'm confident there's a Grenada, Mississippi. I'm confident that is a real town. The Cuba, Mississippi it's close to the Cuban Mississippi crisis. What was the other one?
Anguilla.
Anguilla, which I'm
Anguilla,
sure is
A-
pronounced Anguilla or
Yup.
something.
Anguilla.
but-
Absolutely.
All right. So it's between those other two. It's a coin flip. Oh, I heard the noise in my head.
Oh yeah. and very poorly mixed in, by the way. Last one, I definitely heard it on the repeat. I was like, wow, that's loud.
Oh my god, I don't think I've ever heard a Cuban Mississippi. I'm gonna go with Cuba.
It is Cuba. Cuba is in southern Alabama.
There we go.
Oh.
Cuba, Alabama also sounds stupid. Wait a second, I wouldn't have said that either.
It's right next door.
All right.
It's gotta be pronounced Cuba.
Cuba, Alabama.
I'm from Cuba.
I'm a 5-star offensive lineman from Cuba, Alabama.
Let Commish do this one
Commish-
again since
Yeah,
again,
Commish
catch
holds
up.
serve. Let's
Okay.
go optimism or Ohio.
Man, that's a polar opposites right
They're
there.
just so contrasting.
Intentionally paired those two. I'm just
God.
scrolling randomly, but
Optimism or Ohio. I'm just imagining Drew Carey saying Ohio.
Ohio.
Just like the echo at the end of his lovely show. Let's go with Ohio since I'm talking Drew Carey. Screw it. I'm not an optimist right now.
okay. In Ohio, we have Akron, Canton, Cleveland, Columbus, and Toledo. And I again don't know if it's Akron or Akron, but I'm assuming it's Akron. given the Mississippi towns that I do know the pronunciation of.
I don't think there's a Toledo, Mississippi.
I don't think there's a Cleveland, Mississippi.
That does feel weird.
I know there's a Cleveland, Mississippi.
Oh.
So I'm going to say Akron or Akron.
The correct answer is Toledo. I did not
Oh.
think there was an Akron, Mississippi. That was the one that I found like as I was logging on today.
Congratulations on remembering. to
Cleveland,
do your due
Mississippi
diligence.
is home of Delta State.
That's why.
And-
That's why. Yeah. By no
My
crop.
dad bought a bonsai tree from a guy on the side of the highway driving out of Cleveland, Mississippi in like 2008.
Was it cursed? Was it made by elves? Like what?
I don't think it's still in the
Elf.
family, but it was one of my favorite things that I've ever been a part of.
I'm
Amazing.
imagining a universe where, like, you have the Keebler elves who live in the tree, who then have a bonsai, and even smaller elves who live inside that one.
It's elves all the way down. Recursive
Yes.
elves.
Yes.
Okay, I got
All
category then. Yes.
Yes.
Domination. This is what I was
Jordan's
meant
with a
to do.
3-point lead. Jordan's got 5. PittGirl and Commish are tied with 2. Kevin is not on the board. He
I
has
have not
fooled us once.
stumped anyone yet.
Not stumped anybody once. Okay.
Let's go with Mississippi football people or hotel breakfast.
Hotel breakfast.
Hotel breakfast, you have Berryville, Coffeeville, and Eggville.
I don't think Coffeeville is real. I assume there's a city dedicated to the Egg Bowl in Mississippi that's called Eggville.
Yeah,
I assume that's where they
actually-
keep it.
I'm going to pick Eggville for that reason.
Man, Berryville just it definitely just feels like it's real,
Yeah.
even though
Mhm.
But I'm thinking of those West Blankenship things off of Twitter, like Coffee Town, where he does the Georgia skits, which love Wes.
Oh, they're fabulous.
I gotta go. Oh man, I gotta go with Coffeeville. I'm not confident, but
I
Go
have
with that.
been to Coffeeville, Mississippi.
No, no.
Oh.
Berryville is a real town, but it is in northwest Arkansas.
There we go.
So that is my
Okay.
first
Kevin's
point.
on the board. Why is
Kevin
that a
is on the
J?
board.
Why can't I draw a straight line?
I don't
Hold up.
know.
Can I turn on? Where's my draw assist? Hold up. There's a draw.
you
assist
need
on it.
draw assist.
Smoothing.
You are drinking
Basic.
this rye weird thing.
No,
that
I don't
you-
like
you
that.
Sent me.
Hold up. Not this. Weighted. No, stabilizers. That's what I need. Here we go.
Stabilizer.
There we
You are
go.
drinking this crazy rye stuff you sent me. in
Isn't
the
it
mail.
good?
Yeah, it's great. I'm just gonna say this. My mouth is getting a little numb, which
Yeah.
is yeah.
It'll do that. It was originally. You'll be surprised. It was originally medicinal.
Oh yeah, okay.
It was a tonic
So
to cure what ails you.
Is somebody coming out to take out some wisdom teeth for me
Oh, yeah.
or something right now?
You wouldn't feel it.
My mouth is numb. Yeah, that's right. Thank you for the belated Christmas gift.
Also, I got to mention on here. I hope your little baby enjoys the beveled baby onesie.
The beveled baby onesie. It just says baby on it.
It just
And
says
it's
baby
beveled.
and it's beveled. That's all it is. It's
Yeah,
wonderful.
the word baby says bevel. It is
Thank you to
beveled. It's
PittGirl and
great.
Beth for giving me that idea.
Mostly
That was
Beth.
amazing.
Mostly Beth.
Awesome.
I am going to give you European capitals.
Okay.
You have
It's a
Rome, Berlin, Dublin, and Moscow.
There's no way that isn't Moscow and Berlin. I guarantee that.
Yeah. Well, no, Moscow, like heavy on the cow.
Moscow.
Yeah.
Moscow, Mississippi.
Moscow. Like,
Moscow. Oh my god.
Dublin, Moscow. And what was the other one?
Rome, Berlin, Dublin,
Berlin.
Moscow.
Okay.
Berlin.
I'm gonna say Berlin's not real.
I'm gonna go Moscow.
I feel like Dublin's real. Berlin, Mississippi could be like Berlin.
That's
Berlin,
exactly, yeah.
Mississippi.
Mhm.
Berlin, and then Moscow, Mississippi. I'm just gonna go another direction. I'm gonna say Rome, Mississippi is not real.
Point to PittGirl. Berlin,
Hey!
Mississippi does not exist.
Huh.
Well, Kevin's
But
got the
there's
guess.
probably like a Dusseldorf and a Nuremberg and a Munich, Mississippi, and a
Oh,
Okay, I was actually-
I didn't. There's a Sevastopol, Mississippi that I didn't find a way to put in here.
there's no way it's around Sevastopol, Mississippi. I don't want to know how many syllables it has. Sevastopol? It's gotta be.
Sevastopol
amazing.
would be incredible.
Sebastopol, Mississippi.
Googling.
Oh fuck, I love it.
It's spelled with a B, not a V. If you're Googling.
Yeah, Google corrected it for me. Population 266.
Sure.
My God.
Fighting Chechnyans, not Chechnyans. Fighting Crimeans. There we go. I'm gonna edit that out.
No, that is not correct.
'Cause
Let's be careful with that one.
We're gonna get caucus Twitter in our mentions, and I don't want that shit.
No.
Okay.
All right, PittGirl, your categories are colors or numbers.
Colors, please.
Colors, we have red level, ecru, white apple, and gray.
I just love the idea of a town named Ecru, Mississippi.
has
That
to be-
has to
it
be
has to be
real.
real. It has to
That
be
has
real.
to be real.
It has to be real.
What
And then it
color
was
is that?
it's like off-white.
Yeah, Ecru's like wall color.
Yeah,
Eggshell.
it's like
Yeah.
eggshell,
Okay.
taupe.
Okay.
Any of those varieties of not quite tan. So
Red-
it was.
Red label.
Red level.
Red
It's not Johnny Walker.
Like a level. Okay.
Red level, white apple, ecru, and gray. Correct.
Yes.
I'm gonna say white apple's not real.
I'm gonna say red level isn't real.
I got no shot here, so my outlook is bleak. So I'm going with gray.
Red level is in South Central Alabama. So
There
point
we
to
go.
Jordan.
See, oh man, I know my Alabama stuff too. That's
Jordan, you get Catholicism or the Georgia Bulldogs.
Catholicism. It's Catholicism.
Catholicism, we have Bishop Creek or Bishop Crick, Friars Point, Pope, and Trinity.
Pope, Mississippi. I love this. I love this so much.
I'm gonna choose the friar one being fake.
I'm going to say the bishop one is fake.
I'm gonna go with Trinity.
Bishop Creek does not exist. Friars Point is on the Mississippi River up near Arkansas. Believe Trinity is also in the Delta, but farther south. I do not remember where I found that.
Where is Pope?
I need to Google it. Pope, Mississippi.
Do they have a high school with a mascot? The most important thing.
Pope, Mississippi is on 55, just south of Batesville.
Village
what's
of Pope is served
Between
by the
Batesville
South
and
Panola School
Grenada,
District.
actually.
I'm guessing South Panola High School does not have a cool mascot.
Googling.
They do
Tiger.
not.
They're the
Lame.
Tigers.
Lame.
No, they
Lame.
were in my district. I can tell you they did not.
Don't have the fighting popes?
anything
Come on.
especially exciting.
The Pope fighting popes. Okay.
PittGirl, you get West Virginia or Mississippi football people.
I'm going to take West Virginia.
You get Morgantown, Fayetteville, and Charleston.
All plausible.
Yeah. Morgantown, Charleston, Mississippi.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Charleston.
I feel like there are already too many Fayettevilles.
I'm gonna
They're
agree.
so faithful.
I'm gonna agree with PittGirl. It's Fayetteville's the fake.
Fayetteville is the fake. There's a Fayette, Mississippi, but there's not a Fayetteville.
Okay.
So we're at 7 for Jordan, 5 for PittGirl, 2 for Commish, and 1 for Kevin.
I am done. I've packed it up. I am in the blowout. I am the Florida State.
That's why
guy.
That's why I liquored you up first.
That's right. I am the Florida State guy reading the book in that Clemson game right now.
PittGirl or Jordan?
Jordan, you can
So-
pick.
Okay.
Jordan. Okay, Jordan. Adjectives or innuendo?
Innuendo.
Okay, innuendo. We have cockrum, handy corner, Horn Lake, and nutbush.
Did we check to see if Hot Nuts, Mississippi exists?
Is it Handy Corner or Handy Lake?
Handy
no, that
corner and Horn Lake.
Handy Corner and Horn Lake. Okay, because Handy Lake, that doesn't make any sense.
Candy corner sounds
Handy
like
Lake
what
would be
used to
too
happen
perfect.
next to the vending machine next to the high school band room when I was in high
Yep,
school. Let me tell you what.
that's Handy Corner, all right. Next to Nutbush. I'm gonna
They
say.
go together.
I'm
They
gonna.
say that they go together.
I'm gonna say that Handy. I need Handy Corner to be real. So the fake one is Cockrum.
There were 4 options. What was the other one?
What was the
Cockrum,
lake?
Handy Corner, Horn Lake, and Nutbush.
I'm gonna say Horn Lake is the fake. I need Nutbush to be real.
Like like emotionally you need this in your life.
I do.
Yeah, let's just go with Nutbush just to say that out loud.
Yeah, it's good.
Go with Nutbush.
Commish is correct. Nutbush is in Northwest Tennessee.
Oh, Nutbush, Tennessee instead. Okay.
Nutbush is real, but
Yeah,
it's not
Handy
in
Corner and
Mississippi.
Horn Lake are both suburbs of Memphis, and I don't remember where Cockram is.
I can't get Nutbush into the same syllables as Rocky Top, and it's annoying me. Give me time, I'll figure it out.
Good old Nutty Bush.
Yeah, huh?
Nutty Bush, Tennessee.
And Cockram is also not too far south of Memphis.
Nutty Bush. Well, I think that's our podcast title.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we'll. Oh yeah, these are always good for that. Yeah.
Done.
All right, Commish.
Oh, I got one right. I forgot.
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
I didn't know I could do that.
I was against
We
the
all like,
rules.
yeah, I
Georgia
don't know.
Bulldogs
Okay,
or Directions.
let's go with Georgia Bulldogs. Let's do it.
Georgia Bulldogs. You get Bobo, Kirby, New Augusta, and Stetson.
Bobo,
Hastily
Mississippi.
runs up to Bobo, Mississippi, nails a sign over top of the "Welcome to Bobo" sign that just says "Run the dang ball."
Bobo,
Run the
Mississippi.
dang ball, Bo. Run the dang ball, Bobo, Mississippi.
I don't think Kirby, Mississippi exists. That just sounds too weird. I don't know why.
Bobo, I want Bobo to be real. I don't care. I want Bobo to be real.
Yeah.
I feel like Stetson is real. Kirby feels real, and the one that didn't stick out in my head, I don't think that's real.
New
Whatever
Augusta.
that one.
New Augusta.
New Augusta. I don't think that's New Augusta. Does not feel real, but it could be. But I'm going with New Augusta.
I'm gonna say Stetson's not real.
PittGirl is correct.
Oh no!
Kirby, Mississippi is absolutely a real place.
Damn.
Kirby, Mississippi is a real place that's pink and will occasionally suck in other towns and then put them back out and have their powers.
Right.
Obviously.
I was
I
playing.
found Kirby, Mississippi and Bobo, Mississippi within like 30 seconds of each other like last Saturday, and I just knew I needed to make this category work. I had it just in here as Kirby, Bobo, and Muschamp, and I'm like, I don't care if everybody gets this right. I just want to read them off. And then I found things that fit it better.
I was
Perfect.
playing Kirby on Switch on like the SNES or the NES like emulator thing, and my kid goes, "What is that pink thing doing? Why is he so hungry?"
Spooky season or Shakespeare?
Spooky
Oh,
season.
jeez.
Spooky season, we have Pumpkinville, Gravestown, and Haint.
Like,
Okay, I guarantee you there's a Haint, Mississippi. I almost guarantee
Mississippi
it.
to be real.
Haint? Like Haint?
Yeah, the Haint.
Yes.
Hey, as much as I spiritually need Haint to be real, I am going to choose Haint as the town that does not exist. It's too perfect. It's too beautiful to live.
No, Pumpkinville isn't real.
Commish?
They don't grow pumpkins in Mississippi.
Huh.
I don't know where they grow pumpkins actually. Oh, okay. It's
Everywhere.
It's
really?
probably,
Oh, yeah.
it's probably called Pumpkinville. What was the other one? It was like Grave something?
Gravestown.
Oh, that's like depressing. That feels like it fits Mississippi though.
That's some
Man.
strong Mississippi hate there. Whoa.
No, but I mean like
Batesville Coffin Company is one of the largest coffin
I mean, it's like,
manufacturers in the U.S.
there's some depressing stuff in Mississippi, but like not trying to like shade Mississippi because I'm doing horribly here. I don't know. I feel like Gravestown is probably real. I'm gonna say Haint is not real either.
That's correct. I wish it was, but
Come on. Okay. Pick like one or two more.
Okay, let's see. Best of the best that's left here.
Oh well, I've been mathematically eliminated. All right, that was a long time ago.
I was gonna dock you however many points you need to be eliminated anyways, like I said. So don't worry. You were never in this game to begin
I was
with.
gonna lose anyway.
Yeah. There was no way for you
This
to
has
win this
been
game.
edited. This has been edited. I promise you, I got more right.
Sure. Yeah.
I did not. I did horrible.
I'm gonna
if
chop.
it was-
I'm gonna chop and screw your words to make sure that I got them all wrong. I've got literally hundreds of hours of your voice. I can chop and screw you to say whatever I want you to say at this point.
This is definitely not good. And you have my phone number too. You
Yeah,
call my wife.
not.
The gang does the like Joe Biden AI thing, but to Commish.
Yep.
No, as soon as like question 2 came, I was like, I don't know shit if it's not off the interstate. And oh my god, there is a lot of shit in Mississippi that's not off the interstate.
Also,
about
a good episode title might be "I don't know shit if it ain't off the interstate."
I like that.
I don't know shit if it ain't off the interstate. That sounds like
All
a
right.
great country song.
Let's do fun things to say to wrap this up.
PittGirl, go.
We
for it.
have
Oh yeah, sorry.
Bogue Chitto, Itchatukney, Issaquina, Nidayuma, and Splunge.
Hey, you said fun things to say, and splunge has an awful mouthfeel.
That sounded really fun to me. I mean,
It started as fun things to say, and then I found Splunge and just turned into a weird words category and didn't
There are
bother
at
to
least 2
retitle
of
the
those that belong in
category.
the innuendo category. There are at least 2 of those that belong in the innuendo
it sounds
category.
like
I always
Splunge
feel-
sounds like a really bad like attempt of Pepsi trying to create like a Sprite knockoff. Take the plunge with Splunge.
I was
Splunge
thinking
sounds
like,
a word you would find in a really, really poorly written fan fiction. Let me tell you what.
yeah. I was thinking like, man, after I splunge, I get all squatchy. It's weird.
There's the
I
title.
gotta take a shower after I splunge because I get all squatchy otherwise.
Oh my god.
What were the options that were not splunge? I'm sorry.
Sorry, yeah, splunge through me. Go.
Bogue Chitto, Itchatukney, Issaquina, and Nidayuma.
Bogue Chitto sounds like a side character, like an obscure Star Wars side character.
Oh, it's
Thank you.
absolutely
Thank
a
you.
made-up
Thank
George
you.
Lucas name.
Thank you.
To be fair, so is Nidayuma, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the second thing you said. Whatever that was.
Itchatukney?
Itchatukney.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I'm
go
going
with-
to say that the Star Wars character is fake, by the way.
Yeah.
Bogue
gonna go with
Chitto?
I'm gonna go with Bogue Chitto because I believe that's in Louisiana.
Well, I think Jordan just secured his win because Itchatukney is a spring in Central Florida.
Okay.
Or like North Central Florida. It's just south of Gainesville.
I win a game. Kevin, thank you for taking us through Mississippi. I did not know that. I knew that there were some fun things in there, but holy crap. Final score is Jordan 8, PittGirl 7, Commish 4, Kevin 1. So we'll have overall leaderboards, I guess, as we go along too. Since we're going to do this.
Pleased to inform you also that Splunge's Wikipedia page is a stub and it does not provide any like context for the place name at all.
Hey guys, I'm going
Well,
to
we'll
Google
never
I'm gonna
know.
Google Urban Dictionary splunge and see what happens real fast.
Do not do that. You are going to find awful things.
Oh my god, there's a Bogue Chitto, Louisiana, and a Bogue Chitto, Mississippi, and a Bogue Chitto, Alabama.
How is that even spelled? I have
fuck?
no
Like-
concept of how to spell that.
It's
Bogue.
What the fuck, man? There's 3 of
Oh,
them. I just thought there was one. Oh my god. I was like, that's a town in Louisiana. I know that one. But it's also in Mississippi. It's also in Alabama. Jesus Christ.
I found the Louisiana one first when I was scrolling around, just like looking for inspiration, and then I found the Mississippi one and was like, okay, I can throw this into this weird category.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah, you're right. Splunge is a Monty Python word. Never mind. Splunge is in a Monty Python sketch, but not one of the funny ones.
Bogue Chitto
Jesus.
is named after the Bogue Chitto River, which is from Choctaw, meaning big river. Today we learned.
Well, guys, are you ready to learn about something else?
Yes,
Yeah,
always.
Let's do it.
Let's take the splunge.
Part of our 39-part series. The recurring series, the best season of all time for teams who are below 500 all time. BSOATFTWAB 500 AT.
Wah, 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 wah,
It's
wah.
time to go to Temple football.
Wah, 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 wah,
Said
wah.
no one ever.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
so Temple has never had an undefeated season. So I didn't have some choices. There were a couple. The 1927 Temple Owls won every game except a loss at Dartmouth. So I immediately was like, I like this season. This works for me. But I ended up going with the 45 Temple Owls. Dinks. And I want you, when we're talking about this was started in September of 45. Okay, I want you to think about what happened in the summer of 45 in the world. World War II's coming to an end. We are ending the war in the Pacific, and then Temple University rattles off this season. So when I read newspaper articles from the Temple News from this time period, I want you to remember what had just happened in the world. And they're talking about this, okay? This is all contextual. First off, their coach. Let's talk about Roy Morrison. Roy Morrison is a handsome lad. I'm going to drop a picture in the Discord for you guys. Not like Buff Dad, Roy Cipollina. Roy Morrison is a handsome
dropping
lad.
all the handsome lads
I
today.
am.
This is the
My
most
God.
turtlenecky turtleneck I've ever seen.
It
I mean,
is.
this
And those
turtleneck
pants?
is like it's like below his. It's almost below his lips. It's like it's almost over his chin. This turtleneck is intense.
He either has a very, very square chin or the turtleneck is actually over his chin a little bit. Unclear.
Roy Morrison is actually a Vanderbilt man. He played football at Vanderbilt from 08 to 11, 1908 to 1911. Played quarterback there, was also catcher and outfielder for the baseball team. He was famous at Vanderbilt for his playing prowess. He QB'd Vandy to an 8-0 and 1 season with just a tie against Yale. That should tell you all you need to know about how good he was at football. 1910 Yale was nothing to fuck with, and Vandy has always been someone to fuck with.
So you telling me this guy is a part of the vaunted Vandy offense?
Yes.
He's
Yes.
the originator of the
The
vaunted
originator
Vandy offense.
of the
It
vaunted
sounds
Vandy
like.
From something called I believe the newspaper at Vanderbilt's called the Vanderbilt Hustler or the Vanderbilt.
Anchor of Gold is not going to like this.
No. Headline: Great quarterback makes sensational 75-yard run for touchdown. Early in the first period of the Vanderbilt Mississippi game this afternoon, Ray Morrison, erstwhile all-Southern half, present all-Southern quarter, and all-time swine skin artist extraordinaire, pulled off the most sensational play of the season. Catching the oval on his own 35-yard line, he shot like a demon into the broken field with marvelous speed, sidestepping, straight-arming, dodging, squeezing, and most everything else possible on the gridiron, ran through the whole Mississippi team for a 75-yard touchdown. The only one against the Commodores were able to score against the strong delegation from Old Miss. He was well known. He was also the quarterback of one of the greatest Vandy wins of all time, where they defeated Georgia 17-0 in 1911. This dude was well known for being a football powerhouse. Also on that team was a man by the name of Frog Metzger.
You always seem to find the guys with frog in their name.
I do. And
Well, I mean, it's only the second time, but we'll give you credit for
I'm gonna drop a picture of Frog again, who is a Vandy man as well. Frog looks like a frog.
Yeah, he really does.
Yep.
He really, really does.
Frog looks like the Appalachian FC logo a little bit.
Yep.
My God.
So this happened. He was very well known at Vandy, and then
He won
goes on.
Bachelor of Ugliness in 1912.
There we go. We're
For
back to this
Wikipedia.
again. It's just circles of Vanderbilt football. The fuck is going on with me? He was SMU's first head coach. He coached the SMU Parsons, as they were known, for their first 2 years until they switched to being the Mustangs. He came back to Vandy for 1 year and then fucked off to World War I for a bit, then came back to SMU again for another decade, went to Vandy for another decade, and then ended up at Temple in the 40s. So by this point, he'd been very successful. Vandy wasn't like a great stop for him, but it was still like very well. Also, if you want to bet, also was Vandy's basketball coach, also was Vandy's baseball coach, was not an athletic director.
Oh, didn't get 4 for 4 there.
He was development and public relations director at SMU for 11 years. He finished, by the way, at Austin College in Sherman, Texas, D3 Kangaroos. So there you go. He went to Temple, and Temple at this point, guys, I'm going to tell you something you might not believe. Temple hasn't had a very good football team. Temple for a while was not doing great. Temple seasons were pretty bad before then, but then in the 40s, things got better. When Ray Morrison first showed up, they were 4-4-1, and then they went 7-2 in 41, which is probably their best season till then. In 41, they ended up ranked 13th at one point, but then lost at Boston College. They also lost to Michigan State, so they dropped out of the rankings. But it was a good year. And then a couple of middling years until we get to 1945. 1945 Temple Owls. 45 Temple Owls at home beat Syracuse 7-6, NYU 59-0, Bucknell 64-0, West Virginia 28-12, at Pitt won 6-0, won their homecoming game against Lafayette 20-0, had one loss at Penn State 0-27, and then beat number 10 and Orange Bowl participant Holy Cross 14-6 to close the season out. So this was even though they didn't beat Penn State, this was really like their big thing. This Holy Cross team was very good, obviously by the record, and they ended up losing the Orange Bowl to an ancient Miami team who was 9-1-1 with just a loss to Florida. Temple this season ranked second in the country in defensive yards per game, 125. Ranked 14th in the country in rushing offense, had over 223 rushing yards per game. Rushing defense was only allowing 65 rushing yards per game. This team was absolutely on point. I'm first going to show you guys some pictures of the men on this team because there are some action shots here that we got to talk about first. Morrison's starting lineup in action. It's a 3-parter picture, so give me a moment to get all 3 parts in there.
Okay, while you get a moment there, I just want to say that they lost to Penn State at Penn State, and it was at the new Beaver Field.
Yes.
I also was a whiteout.
I also want to highlight, just because I know it will irritate a certain kind of Penn State fan, that there is a little parenthetical specifying that game is a rivalry.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Just saying.
So in the Discord, I have dropped some pictures of the men on this team. If you look carefully at the right halfback, Gene Zawowski, he has a face on him.
I know. That's who I went to immediately.
That is a man. That is a... Wait, no. Okay.
That is a dude.
I want to know, like, what the photographer told him to do to take this picture, because he's a right halfback from what I can see.
Yep.
He's just making a giant like O face as he's attempting to throw the ball.
So I'm going to show you a picture of.
He looks like he's winding up for a tennis serve or something.
I don't know, but this is definitely not a throwing motion. I don't know what's going on there.
Another picture of this team includes their David and Goliath, 165-pound Phil Schlossberg and 240-pound Mike Jarmolik together. One of those dudes looks like he was not given enough to eat by Ebenezer Scrooge.
Jeez.
And the other dude looked like he got all the food.
My God.
5'8" versus 6'5".
It's like one of those pictures of like Aaron Judge next to Jose Altuve.
Yes. So I'm going to take you through the season a little bit, and then we'll talk about the freshman thing I want to talk about because it's weird. The first game was 7-6. 7-6 against Syracuse. And after that happened, the student body was chided in the newspaper. An editorial, quote, "We let them down. We're warning you right now. This is coming straight from the shoulder. We'd like to know if Temple students really have a little school spirit, as the so-called cheering at the first game would indicate. Can it be we are ashamed of our university? Probably. It must be something like that. Nothing else could make us so sickeningly half-hearted with our cheers." So the last 2 lines of this editorial are, "We let them down. There's no missing words. Facts are facts. What are you going to do about it?"
Oh, man, this is better than the Tebow thing. I'm just going to say that.
The next week, the Owls destroy NYU. And this was the Battle of the T's, because Temple was known for running the T formation, which, if you don't know, is like the the proto-I. Basically, everyone on the line except for a quarterback and 2, we'll call them backs, next to him. And that's what they ran. Apparently, NYU had canceled their football program for a while and were just coming back. And it didn't go so well.
Boy, did Temple welcome them back.
They did. Then the Owls routed the Bison 64-0 for third victory. I found a trophy for this game. The Old Shoe Trophy. Got a picture for you guys. Apparently, Temple and Bucknell actually played a couple years ago. and they found a replica of the trophy, but did not play for it.
Oh.
But this is a game that was played consistently all the way through to like the 70s.
I'm just gonna say this paper is amazing, honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, just really because like Temple's based in like Philly, which I feel like they had pretty good record keeping. I would say 1945, unlike the normalites, which didn't have anything.
Or the FAU paper I found, which I had to, I was using pictures out there. I had to trim a bunch because most of it was just women in bikinis. This is from the 60s. It was like, this is Miss Sunshine September.
I mean,
September.
yeah.
Thanks, Boca.
Yeah. Do we really think the paper in Boca right now doesn't look like that? Like,
Right. So then we have the game against West Virginia. And Temple was supposed to beat West Virginia pretty soundly, and they only won 28-18. I will read you a little bit from a man we're going to come to know and love, Sylvan Kling, who is the sports editor of the 45 Temple newspaper. Headline, Overconfidence Hurts Owls. A little bit of knowledge is supposed to be a dangerous thing, but a little bit of over-optimism is even more dangerous. After humbling NYU 59-0 and Bucknell 64-0, it would appear that Temple would waltz right through West Virginia. So said the forecasters, so said Temple rooters, and so said the football public. Apparently, even the football team believed it. Here was another runaway. Overconfidence breeds fumbles and touchdowns. Breeds fumbles and fumbles don't breed touchdowns. Overconfidence causes shoddy play, while ragged blocking and tackling isn't going to prevent the opposition from making gains. Such was the case on Friday night. A Mountaineer team coached to hit hard and high forced breaks. 6 times the ball squirmed out of the possession of Temple backs into the waiting arms of West Virginians. 6 fumbles. 6 times we lost the ball, each time in their territory.
oh no.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Poor ball handling. The only nice part, the Temple punting was good. Their quarterback got away some beauties.
Oh my God. And they still won the game 28-12, and they
Yeah, they won this game
times.
by 16.
Yep. The ball handling was miserable. After praising the Owl T formation and its accompanying legerdemain, Metropolitan sports writers found themselves eating their own words, and not happily. Were they looking at the same team that was able to fool even officials in the past weeks? From any spot on the field, it was obvious who had the ball and who was going to get it on the reverse.
Man, this my
He's
God.
brutal. According to reports, Temple was drilling on pass plays all week. Something must have gone wrong. The pass attack collapsed and buckled. Jack Burns overshot his passes and the ends let slip through their fingers.
Let me get into the right mindset. This is a Philly guy giving Temple a lot of shit.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you're
yes.
now in the right mindset. Yes.
There we
This
go.
is Philly
All right.
sports writers,
Exactly
guys.
right mindset, yes.
Philly sports writer, I can imagine on the radio, Temple Sports Talk Radio, 1945, just lacing into,
This
Mr.
garbage 4-0
Mr.
team.
Mr.
Frauds.
Mr. Ray Orbison. I'm sorry, no, that
Morris,
that
close
was
enough.
Morrison.
This
Roy
fra-
Orbison. Sorry,
this
my
fraud
bad.
team.
Popped in my head.
So
This shit is
yeah.
fraud.
So they slip slightly, and everyone's like, "Nah, they're shit." Then they go
Yeah,
to
that sounds
Penn.
about right.
Then they go to Penn and win 6-0. So they win both halves of the backyard brawl, is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
That's another reason why I thought this was a good season. This is when sort of like people started feeling like the team was going to go well, and they beat Lafayette, which they should win, and then they head to Penn State.
Hard.
And this is when the thing comes across.
Oh my God, I can't wait to hear this article.
Lions hand. Oh, I missed the headline. Oh, Lions break. Words. Lions break Temple. Bowl bid hopes crushed. Same man, our Sylvan Kling. Temple's hapless Owls tumbled out of the ranks of the undefeated Saturday when a determined Penn State team mauled the cherry and white for 4 quarters while scoring in the first, second, and third. It was State all the way, with the weather as dark and dreary as the Owls' outlook. Picked by experts to eke out a close victory, the Lions refused to permit Temple's passers to make headway. Midway through the first quarter, wingback Larry Cooney intercepted a pass by Jack Burns on the State 35-yard line and returned it 40 yards to the visitors' 40-yard line. State scored twice in the second quarter. It's just a lot of that. He was not very happy. Garbage team. 1 loss. Garbage. They go away from home. Fake team. But then Sylvan Kling either had the shit kicked out of him or someone talked to him. Because I went to read the game before the Holy Cross game, which they thought they were going to lose. because Holy Cross was ranked. Sylvan Kling writes an article called "It's Still a Good Season."
Sylvan Kling going through the 5 stages of grief.
This is
throughout the
that's
entire
exactly what this
football.
is. This man is going through the 5 stages of grief. Strange as it seems, we are down near the bottom of the list of football opponents from 1945, and here we are wailing because we lost a game. You, Sylvan Kling, were wailing because you lost a game. Okay? Before the season was a game old, the prognosticators gave Temple the benefit of the doubt. The Owls will do better than last year. That's because they couldn't do worse. We were willing to settle for a 500 season. We even had our wins picked out. We had our defeats picked out. 4 and 4 seemed like a happy medium. And then we won 6 great games, and there was rumors of an Orange Bowl or a Cotton Bowl. Sure, State was tough, but so were we. Said Grantland Rice. This is one of the best games of the day, with two of the country's top teams battling. It's a toss-up, though State is stronger. The Associated Press said that is a toss-up, with State was stronger. And then the last thing is 6-1 isn't bad. 6-2 isn't bad, although we prefer 7-1. They won that game against Holy Cross, which was a huge upset against number 10. And they didn't go to a ball. Temple didn't. And that's the season. Now, my slight little sidetrack on this. You're going to have to forgive me on this one, guys. Because when I started reading through these newspapers, because when I was trying to find thing, I go to like this first September issue and I start skimming. Because usually these were weekly back in the day. And then I saw a headline that said this: Freshman regulations listed by Vigilante Committee.
Okay.
The beginning of the new school term comes with the issuance of freshman regulations by the Vigilantes Committee. The following rules must be observed by all incoming freshmen. This was on the front page of their newspaper, by the way. Like column 1, top left. Dinks and buttons are to be worn at all times, at school and at football games. Dinks are like little beanies.
Okay.
Freshmen are not allowed to use the grill from 12 to 2 during the week of October 1st. All freshman girls must go without makeup and must wear their hair in pigtails on Mondays, October 1st and 8th. All freshman boys must part their hair in the middle and wear their dinks on the back of their head on those 2 days. All freshman girls must carry matches, and all Frosh boys must carry bobby pins. And buttons must not be worn on dinks. These regulations will be strictly enforced by the vigilantes, easily identified by their yellow tags. All upperclassmen have the privilege of reporting any violations to vigilantes, who will try the offenders before the freshman court. Pete Scuderi, a character we're going to learn about, class of 48, chairman of Vigilantes, has expressed his hope that all freshmen will understand that the reason for these regulations is to increase school spirit. Freshmen are advised to watch the Temple News for further news about regulations. So I'm like, well, I got to read more about this.
I mean, seriously, you cannot be a Temple Owls fan if you have buttons on your dink.
No, you don't. also, buttons on your dink might be a good title too for this episode too.
Buttons on your dink.
Next week.
What the hell is a dink? It's a hat?
Let me send you a picture of what a dink is.
What the fuck? Jesus Christ, man. You gotta wear a dink?
Yeah, a lot of colleges have this.
This
You
just
can't go to
reminds
class
me.
without wearing a hat?
This just reminds me of the one frat at Pitt that made all the freshmen wear baseball caps, and one of the
There you go. That's a dink.
one of the finest moments of
Oh my
being
God.
a Pitt fan, I will say, is having been a student, was standing in line waiting for the bus back to campus after the night game against Notre Dame freshman year, and somebody stole one of that frat's pledges hats and just ran away with it, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
The next week, freshman regulations effective today, new rules added. Added on the list is that if the upperclassman command of button Frosh, the freshman must place his hand over the button on his chest and give a loud beat NYU. The shout will vary with the names of our future football opponent. Pete Scuderi, again, our main character here, chairman of the Vigilantes, says it's all upperclassmen have the authority to heckle the Frosh. If the Frosh are uncooperative, or if they refuse to carry out commands, upperclassmen should report them to members of the Vigilante Committee. I told my wife about this. She goes, it sounds like hazing.
Yes.
And I said, no, they clarified this. Next paragraph. The longstanding name hazing attached to the semi-annual Frosh upperclassmen wrangling has been changed to heckling. Quote, because parents object to hazing and their past experience, Scuderi says, Miss Margaret L. Osgood, Dean of Students, has requested that we change the name.
It's totally
It is
not hazing,
not-
guys.
It's not
Definitely
hazing, it's
not
heckling.
hazing.
So
Change
then,
the name, not the behavior.
yes.
Mhm.
So then, Pete Scuderi, again, our main character, announced the next week that freshmen may buy food at the grill, but they must not eat there. Also, Scuderi said freshmen should not be annoyed by upperclassmen asking for their dues card.
Okay, I'm looking at this Dink hat.
Yeah.
Like this. Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
Man, I could not wear that hat. I don't care what year it is. Look at that hat.
They added some rules the next week, and they also started having courts every week to try freshmen who were not found in compliance. They added a few things. There was still the girls must go with their hair parted in the middle in pigtails and must go without makeup. Boys must wear their hair in the middle and wear their pants rolled up 2 rolls.
Why would the boys have to wear the hair in the middle, but they gotta wear a dink at the same time?
I don't know.
This doesn't make any sense.
No freshmen will be allowed on Watt Street between Burke Street and Montgomery Avenue. Freshmen must use the back door of Mitten Hall. Bobby pins, matches, that usual stuff. Violators are brought to freshman court, held next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Vigilantes mar freshman prospects for a good weekend. Unsuspecting freshmen rushed out of the university building Friday afternoon, joyously contemplating a pleasant weekend. But the joy of the unfortunate ones who passed through during H hour was short-lived, for lying in wait at them at every exit were the vigilantes. It was a surprise raid to catch negligent freshmen who were laid in a secret meeting of the committee on the preceding afternoon. No loopholes were left for the wary ones to slip through. Just before 1 p.m., they took their positions, opened their notebooks, and sharpened their pencils. And they basically caught everyone coming out with things that weren't right. This keeps going for a bit. I'm going to skip some of the more specific things they ask you to do. I will go to some punishments. The freshman court declared Eleanor Kimmel, Carolyn Cook, and Dora Gumbora were found guilty of not wearing dinks or buttons. As a penalty, Miss Kimmel must spend an hour cleaning the Mitten Hall windows, go for a week without makeup, and wear a paper bag on her head. Carolyn Cook was sentenced to clear the tables in the grill Monday at 2 p.m., and Dora Gumbora was ordered to make a large red tea for use at the West Virginia games. Dot O'Kelly and Margaret Klein must clean windows at 2 o'clock as a punishment. Norman McKinney will wear 2 large signs reading, "I am silly" and "I love the vigilantes." Therese Byrons must carry her books in a bucket all week.
So actually, it's a book bucket. It's not
actually
a book
bucket.
sack. It's not a book
It's
And because the freshmen won the tug of war homecoming weekend, they were allowed to stop early, a week early, these things. From the freshman tug of war post-dinner, a picnic supper was served at 6 p.m. outside the girls' dorms. A masked cigarette girl distributed cigarettes and matches. I don't know what that means or why she was masked.
Was that the one with the bag on her head?
Must have been.
Okay. Why would they... Like, does she have to go to class with a bag on her head?
Yep. So apparently after that happened, there was a little, in the Temple newspaper, there was a little like commentary, like little quips and quotes about Temple life. Things are tough here since the freshman regulations have been abolished. Last week we called out buttons, Frosh. And what did we get back? But beat your head against a wall. So the freshmen started coming back. Now, I told you about Pete Scuderi, who was in charge of all this stuff. I want to give you guys a single guess because I looked him up as to what career he went into. What career did Pete Scuderi go into?
He was a long-running PA state house rep from Philly, wasn't he?
I was gonna say local government.
I can see him being like a judge or something, and just being incredibly harsh.
He was a federal judge.
Yeah, I just knew it. It was like it just felt he was extremely judgy, just like. Follow the rules. We will make you wear a bag on your head.
Well, it's that, but it's also kind of the same energy as the end of Animal House, where they're doing the montage about where everybody ends up and Bluto ends up being a senator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's that.
Yep.
So thank you guys for letting me talk about the 45 Temple Owls and then going down a side tangent of what Temple's hazing looked like in 45. Again, 1945, what had just happened. And now the front page of the Temple newspaper is, "Hey, fucking freshmen, wear your goddamn hats." Philly's great. I love Philly.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways,
Go Birds.
That's all I got. Thank you, Lord, for old school newspapers who have shit like this.
Jesus, man.
It's so good, right? You're sitting there going like, "Holy shit, this happened."
Like this poor girl had to wear
a bag on her
head and no makeup, but I mean, at least she had the bag on her head
and
without
pigtails.
the makeup.
Everyone had, and every girl in pigtails, and every boy with a part down the middle,
while wearing this weird dink hat, which is
Wait, can we make dinks for us?
Oh God,
I'm not wearing that hat already.
I
I'm
am
just-
not
Oh,
wearing
God.
PittGirls. Let me
As,
tell you
as,
what.
so, as someone
I'm
who
not
is
a
in-
hat person to begin
as someone
with.
who is in a as someone who is who was in a fraternity, who did have to wear things to class, who did have to like go through processes like this, I kind of want to see all of y'all in dinks now. I'm gonna see if I can
No.
find a place that'll make them for me.
Pour one out for Cowbucker.
Oh yeah, damn, that'd be so good. God, I'll find someone to
Dinks.
make me dinks for everyone. Well, dinks, I think that's all we got for tonight. We will record on Sunday, which will be during the Final Four, or is that on, or are the Final Four games on Saturday?
Final Four is on Saturday, but we may be during the women's Final Four. I think
Oh, that is true.
that could be the women's championship. I think.
We'll figure
the
that
women's
out, and then we'll
championship,
also, and then we'll record on Tuesday after
Friday, Sunday. Yeah.
the big championship as well. So we'll be doing that. Anything else for the good of the order, ladies and gentlemen?
No, I think we should, take the splunge and end the podcast here.